Hello and welcome. In this video, we explain the concept of license per container. License per container is a simple and transparent business model for efficient software licensing with CodeMeter by Wibu-Systems. If you have received a quote or offer from us, you may have seen the item license per container. In this example, the offer includes 83 licenses per container, 10 CM Cloud Server package seats, 10 CM dongles. When you place a purchase order for these quantities, the first item you receive is the master key, also called the FSB, or Firm Security Box. The Firm Security Box has two main purposes. First, it contains the rights you need to protect your software against reverse engineering. Second, it contains the licenses and rights you need to create and manage licenses for your end users. In the protection part of the FSB, you have your firm code. In this example, we use firm code 6001826. You also have licenses for Axe Protector, optional Axe Protector modules, and other licenses or services related to software protection. In the licensing part of the FSB, you have the same firm code, the licenses per container, and any other licenses needed for licensing purposes. Now, let's look at the basic workflow. You start with the FSB. In this example, you have purchased 83 licenses per container. You can now create licenses in different types of containers. Some customers use 2 or more FSBs for different build environments. Others prefer to separate protection and licensing into different FSBs. If you start with 83 licenses per container and program your firm code into 1 CM dongle, the counter in the FSB goes down from 83 to 82. This is the key concept. The license per container is consumed when the firm code is created inside a license container. Before you can add product licenses, you first need to create or select the target container. Once the container is available, you program your firm code into that container. This step consumes 1 license per container from the FSB. After the firm code is available in the container, you can add product codes and product item options. These do not reduce the license per container counter. A license container has a clear structure. At the top, you have the firm code. This identifies your company or software vendor environment. Below the firm code, you can add product codes. These can represent different software products, versions, modules, or features. Each product code can have its own product item options, such as text fields, expiration dates, unit counters, data fields, license quantities. For example, one product code can contain a license that is valid until 2035. Another product code can include a network license for 10 users. You are free to use multiple product codes and product item options inside the same container. If you want to scale up your license and entitlement management, Wibu-Systems also offers tools such as License Central and License Portal. These tools are useful for more automated and advanced license workflows. For this video, we will focus on the simple hands-on tools that allow easy license management. Once you understand these concepts, it will also be easier to understand how License Central works. Let's start with CodeMeter Control Center. CodeMeter Control Center is the graphical user interface of the CodeMeter runtime. It is used in your development environment, in your licensing environment, and on the end user side. To manage licenses, your licensing environment needs access to the master key, the FSB. In this demo, we use a CM Cloud FSB. When we look inside the license container, we can see that it contains the firm code of Wibu-Systems and the demo firm code 6001826. The FSB contains 83 licenses per container. These can be used to create licenses in CM dongles, CM Actor licenses, or CM Cloud containers. Let's start by programming a CM dongle. First, we plug the CM dongle into the system. It appears in CodeMeter Control Center. When we open WebAdmin, we can see the contents of the container. At this stage, the container is empty. There is no firm code and no product item available yet. Next, we open CodeMeter License Editor. This is a simple graphical tool for programming licenses. You can also use command line tools, License Central, or other tools, but License Editor is useful for this demonstration. The licenses needed to program the target container are available in the master key. We select the target dongle, we click the plus sign, we select the firm code. Then, we execute the action. This action programs the firm code into the dongle. At that moment, the license per container counter in the master key goes from 83 to 82. One license per container has now been used. If we look at the target dongle again, we can see that the firm code has been created. Now we can continue by adding product codes to the dongle. We create a product code and add some product item options. For example, we add the text, demo license per CM container. Then we add an expiration date. In this example, the license is valid until 2035. We also add a license quantity. In this case, we create a network license for 10 users. When we execute this action, the product code and its options are programmed into the dongle. The important point is that the license per container counter in the master key stays at 82. Adding product codes and product item options does not consume another license per container. Now let's look at a CM-ACT license. We remove the dongle and create an empty CM-ACT license container by importing a license information file. This file can also be sent to an end user by email or through another process. The end user imports the file and creates a license request file. They send this file back to you. You can then use that file to program the license update. In this demo, we open the context file and activate the firm code inside the CM-ACT license container. This action consumes another license per container. The counter in the FSB now goes from 82 to 81. After the firm code has been activated, we can add a product code. In this example, we use a different product code and create a license for 3 users. We also add a text field. Once this is executed, the CM-ACT license contains the firm code and the product license. The counter in the FSB now goes from 82 to 81. Once this is executed, the CM-ACT license contains the firm code and the product license. Now let's look at the third option, a CM Cloud container. In this example, we create an enterprise container with 4 seats. Creating the cloud container generates an access file. This access file can be imported into CodeMeter Control Center. After importing the access file, the cloud container appears in CodeMeter Control Center. At this stage, the container is still empty. Creating an empty cloud container does not reduce the license per container counter. The counter only changes when the firm code is activated inside the cloud container. We open CodeMeter License Editor again. We select the empty cloud container. We activate the firm code. Now the counter in the FSB goes from 81 to 80. After that, we can add as many product codes and product item options as needed to the cloud license. With CM Cloud, you also have 24/7 control over the license container, which gives you flexibility for license updates and management. This is the core concept of license per container. You can use this model with CM dongles, CM-ACT licenses, and CM Cloud containers.